Hey everybody, it's time for the Player 4 podcast.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I am Alex, aka Chaos Black 21 on the Rooster Teeth site.
I am Jay Dunlap on the site, and otherwise known as Joseph.
Joseph
What?
Joseph Punlap, as I like to call you now.
As of last week with the dry humor joke.
Yes.
If you were listening and you didn't hear last week's episode, stop and go listen. We'll wait. Can we just dive into it? Because Plumpo is a friend of mine from Drunk Tanks who's now working with Adam on the website for Rooster Teeth. And I saw him and a few other of the Drunk Tanks earlier today because Adam launched the sponsor chat today.
Yes, I saw that. I didn't actually attempt to go into it. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't really understand what I was looking at, and so I just moved on.
That's sponsor chat, Alex.
True. Even when it was working back on the old site, you weren't sure what you were looking at. But a lot of people have been looking for the sponsor chat. There was that group that was really into sponsor chat, and they were disappointed when it got taken away for the new site.
Well, it has been made, so go to Adam's journal, thank the two people he tagged in it, because they're the reason we have it. If you don't like it, you can thank them anyway.
I guess we can talk a little bit about Red vs. Blue stuff, as I was watching Season 13 before we started the podcast.
Were you rewatching?
Yes, I am rewatching. Like, during the season, I might fall behind, but by the time the finale comes through, I usually catch up to watch the finale. So I got the Blu-ray DVD like I always do. Actually, this is the first time that I decided to rewatch it. So this is only the second time that I've seen Season 13.
I probably need to go and rewatch it, but I have a lot of other things to catch up on. I'm 2 weeks behind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. There is a little bit that we can say about Season 14. Now, you reminded me recently that it's going to be vignettes for this coming season. And
yes.
I know Miles went to Seattle recently, and he was hanging out with Trocadero and working on something with them that he's being very cryptic about. But today he tweeted Jordan and said, "You ever wonder why we're here?" So I think Jordan might be doing maybe, let's say, RTAA style Red vs. Blue vignette, and that would be like the best thing ever.
Oh, jeez. Still hoping for that noir version of a Caboose story.
Yes! Rick Guerrero needs to do the animation. And it'll be Caboose, and you'll voice Caboose. How about that? You'll voice Caboose, Rick will animate it. It'll be a little noir chapter about Caboose solving a mystery.
You know, I think that would be awesome. I think that's what Season 14 needs. I'll be sure to tell Miles that.
Now let's just go straight to Rick on this one. I think he can make the division.
Oh, I think so. He probably has... he could get a hold of Miles before I could ever get a hold of Miles.
He'll just tell Miles. He'll be like, "Look, Miles, I'm doing the thing."
We'll make it, and then he'll just like slip it in somehow, just without them knowing until the very end.
He'll just make it a hidden video on the DVD. I really enjoy the hidden videos on the DVDs. Do you have any Red vs. Blue DVDs?
I started with the 10-year box set, so I never got the first 10 seasons by themselves, but otherwise I have the first, I have 11, 12, and 13 single Blu-ray DVDs.
Did I mention on here before that when I was teaching drum corps a long time ago that I brought my Season 4 DVD and we just watched it like non-stop, and then a lot of stuff from the PSAs became inside jokes with the drum corps?
Yes, you did. I remember specifically you said, you quoted something from Sarge about milk.
Yes, that was a big one with the kids, was maybe you don't. Season 4 is great, though. That's the one with Sargisms.
Yes.
And the one where Caboose is calling Andy his best friend. And it's got Crunch Bite, which was my old username on the site. It's got the quest with the sword. And let's see what else happens in Season 4. Tucker got pregnant, yeah. They wanted to get information from Lopez, but it was all in Spanish. And Lopez was just ahead. It was a great season.
Oh my god, Andy! You're turned into a real boy!
We can go fishing. You don't have to be the bait anymore. I can hear my daughter in the next room playing with her blocks.
What? She's supposed to be asleep.
No, this is her thing now. This is a thing for her now. Every night, after we put her in bed, for the next few hours, we hear clink, clink, clink in her room. I go by the door, I'm like, go to bed. So she stops playing for a few minutes. And then she starts playing again. So I go in and I put her in bed. A few minutes later, I hear clink, clink, clink. She used to be a morning baby, but then she discovered her blocks. She'll just take all the little blocks, put them on the little plate that she has that blocks go onto, and then she'll take them off and put them back in the box, and that's, to her, considered playing.
It reminds me of me a little bit, because I know when I was growing up, and I'd be, like, reading or playing games, and, like, I'd have my door closed but my light on, and so then my parents would come in and be like, you need to go to bed. And so then I'd turn off the light, thinking, like, oh, once I turn off the light, they don't think that I'm still up. But, yeah, then they'd come back and be like, no, you really have to go to sleep.
I was guilty of that. I was always building stuff with my Legos. And ultimately, even for this generation that plays Minecraft, like my son just came home today from school and said that he met another classmate who plays Minecraft. Even this generation, they still have to play with their Legos when it's bedtime because they can't sneak into the living room and turn on Minecraft unless I guess they have like an iPad or something. But my kids are not going to have iPads or phones or anything for a very long time.
No, I also agree. I'm in that same boat.
No, it's like you want an iPad, you'll buy it.
Save up your money. Start teaching them budgeting early.
Yeah, I know my 5th grade math teacher taught me budgeting. We had to learn how to write checks. We had to learn how to budget a month's worth of money based on what we thought we needed as 5th graders. Like, oh yeah, I can just live on Wolf Brand chili was the thing I said I was going to live on. I just live on Wolf Brand chili all month, and that'll be really cheap. It'd be like $100 for the month, and then I can make my car payment, and then do this and this, and then I can buy Legos with the rest of it. Of course, nowadays, it would be I can buy magic cards with the rest of it.
Either way, it's expensive. God, Legos are incredibly expensive these days.
They were expensive back in the day, but they're especially more expensive now because of all the licensing involved.
Well, it just also seems like the models that they put out keep getting bigger and bigger, and so that jacks up the price as compared to, like, when I was a kid. I don't think a lot of the models that I built really weren't as big as what I'm seeing.
Yeah, well, there were some large models back in the 90s, but they do have a lot bigger things now because of the licensing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, back in the day, it was like pirate ships that were really big and were like over $100. And nowadays, the big things are like a miniature Death Star or things like that. They have to be big. But there's the Star Wars things and there's the Avengers, and all the sets are quite big, as you've said, with multiple title characters in them. They've always been guilty of putting title characters in multiple sets. Like, Star Wars is an example, but they've always been doing this since the 90s. They'll put, say, a Yoda in a small set with droids, and then put Yoda in a larger set as well. So you get the smaller set, and then you realize that you got to get the larger set for all the other characters, but now you have 2 Yodas.
I mean, it helps in case you ever lose one of those Yodas. Hey, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
I ordered miscellaneous pieces from the Wild Wild West setting from Lego a long time ago, but something happened where they, like, sent me the wrong miscellaneous pieces or something, and so I get to keep that, or maybe I ordered a set and they sent me pieces, and then they sent me what I ordered, and that kind of thing happens all the time. Like, I ordered cards from Manalik, who I write for. It was an interesting thing. I think is a mistake plenty of people would make. I was ordering a card called Hedron Archive as part of a larger order, and then they sent me Hedron Blade, which is just alphabetically next in the set. And I was like, why are there Hedron Blades in here? This is not a good card. Is this like in the sideboard or something? Did I forget that I ordered it? And I looked through and I saw the window Hedron Archives, and it's like, oh, I see what happened. So I sent a message to the owner. He was like, yeah, we'll put it in the next order. And that kind of thing happens all the time, where you get something that's not unlike but not exactly what you ordered. So then they're like, yeah, you can keep it, but then we'll send you what you wanted as well. So back in the day, I had lots of little Wild West accessories like guns and hats and that kind of thing.
I didn't know that they had that back then, though, the being able to order miscellaneous pieces. I had heard here recently, like, it wasn't too recently, but back in, like, maybe 2009 or 10 or whatever, that I had heard about the whole, there was some company that was like, oh yeah, if you're missing a piece, we can ship it to you. So if you ever lose pieces, you can go to this company and they can help you repair it, essentially.
Wasn't there something quite large that was built for Star Wars Day, May the 4th this year?
Was there?
I believe it was a Super Star Destroyer that they then recreated the shot from Star Wars Episode 6 of the Star Destroyer crashing into the Death Star.
I did not ever see that.
And then they took a slow motion video of it falling and breaking. It was the coolest thing.
I'll have to try to find that, because, yeah, I didn't really pay attention much, so I didn't know. I mean, I figured usually they make something like that, or like some kind of Lego creation of, like, one of the characters or something.
Remember what Gavin did to the Legos last year? Or was it? No, it was 2 years ago.
What, at RTX?
Yeah.
He broke him.
He was like in disguise as a creeper, and he went and broke, and he was like, no, it's fine, it's me, it's Gavin. I'm sorry. I remember.
So the kid was like, okay, just take a picture with me.
I remember seeing the display and just thinking in the back of my head, it would suck if somebody broke this. And then Gavin comes over and Murphy's Law happens.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, at a convention, someone could accidentally trip and fall, and terrible.
Changing the subject, that was also the convention, RTX, I think, 2013, where there was a booth that was saying, oh, sign these things and enter a raffle and you can win some electronics thing. And it turned out to be a scam, and they were calling people that had given their number and saying, you are eligible for money, you have to come to this place in Dallas, and you'll get a tour, and then you'll, do something like invest in our company, and then we'll give you a bunch of money. So a lady called me and was talking to me, and I was like, this sounds fishy. So I researched the name of the company, and then on the phone with her, I was like, I just researched your company. This is a scam. Goodbye. And then I contacted Adam, and I was like, look, this is going on. And he's like, yeah, we know. Our legal guy's looking into it, and they're not coming back to RTX ever again. Did you sign up for that?
I never got a phone call, so I'm assuming I did not sign up. I'm pretty sure I didn't sign up for it, because I didn't sign up for anything. 2013, I actually didn't really get to go around to the booths much.
I went around the booths with Bree. Then we went and took the typing test, and I scored like a 110 or something.
Wait, what typing test?
Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right. Hey all, you're watching the Caboose podcast, as I am now the only one here. How are you doing, audience? Are you doing great? I know I'm doing great, even though finals are sucking. But we'll get through it. And then it'll be the holidays. If you're doing RT Secret Santa, you're awesome. I can't wait to send my stuff to who I got. I'm still looking for some stuff, but it's going to be pretty awesome. I heard a door.
All right, apologies for having to leave like that.
No problem. You're going to have a little present to listen to.
I'm going to keep this because I wanted to tell the audience what just happened.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I heard my daughter kind of crying softly in her room like she was frustrated about something. It was the frustrated cry, the high-pitched one. What had happened was I had put her in her room, told her to go to bed. She hadn't finished her milk yet, so I was like, finish your milk, and she placed it on her dresser instead of finishing it. So I knew that she had intended to just get up when I left and grab her milk and go and finish it while she played with blocks. And that's what she did. She finished it while she was playing with blocks. Because kids think that their parents don't know everything, and their parents do know everything. So just now, she had finished playing with her blocks. You know, like I said, all she does is just put the blocks together, take them apart, put them away, and she's done. Like a Rubik's Cube, I suppose. So then she had an empty sippy cup, and she decided it was her job to open her door, which she's unable to open doors at this moment. At least not the ones with the handles. She decided it was her responsibility to put her sippy cup away. Now, it's worth noting at this point that the way that she puts her sippy cups away is usually she just puts them back where they came from.
Oh, God.
And Gina catches her almost every time. She's like, no, don't put them in there. Put them in the sink. So she's trying to leave her room, and she can't open the door, and I hear squealing. And I'm like, what's going on? So I just now left, and then you left me a surprise, apparently, while I was gone. And I went and I opened her door. She happened to be right on the other side of the door, and I knocked her over when I opened the door. I didn't even slam it open. I just opened it. And so I picked her up, and she made this face like, okay, this is not cool. And then she handed me the sippy, and I was like, okay, I'll go put it away. Now you go to bed. So that's what happened when I left. The end.
Oh, very nice. I'm going to inform you now. It's the surprise of Lefty is not that great. It's like the very beginning part I really like, and then the rest is just it goes downhill very quickly.
That's unfortunate.
just fair warning, because there was only so long where I'm like, okay, now this is just turning weird and rambling. I'm going to stop.
And then you mentioned Tumblr.
No, it didn't get that weird.
It didn't go to episode 0?
It did not go to episode 0.
Speaking of episodes, not episode 0, we are a long way off from releasing episode 0.
Yes, very, very long.
Speaking of, a few topics. One thing is we still have plenty of bonus content that we intend to put out. The only issue is that last time we wanted to put out bonus content, we wanted people to retweet so that they would receive the link. Because we're not ready to put up a Patreon, there's not quite enough of a following yet of a Patreon. And that would just be a system through which we could distribute bonus content to our diehard fans. Well, we did the retweet thing just to figure out who the fans were, and only one person did, and that was Rick. So that's the reason.
Thank you, Rick.
Yes, thank you, Rick. We love you. And that's the reason we haven't put out any bonus content since then, because we're not quite sure who wants to see it. And we're not just going to upload it public because, you know, it's special content. Not everyone's going to appreciate it. So if you want us to put it up, then let us know, and we will. We just need to have a system through which to distribute it. We could just give the link to whoever it is that we know is a fan, but that's a little bit unfair to those that like to lurk in the shadows and not really make themselves known. So I'm not quite sure the right thing to do there.
I mean, we did kind of give some sort of extra content with the episode 42.5 that seemed to go over very well.
And before that, we did the breaking video with Tristan and me talking about the website breach.
Yes, definitely. You guys had some good input on that. That ended up after I think Adam put his journal out about it. A lot of the similar stuff that you said was in it.
Yeah, pretty much. He was like, no, we do encrypt, but it's good policy, and that's exactly what we said. Mm-hmm. All of that said, moving along with the topic of content, I've been putting pretty consistently our episodes up on iTunes, and a few of them have been downloaded to some degree, and that's good to see.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're at a point where I'm going to have to start deleting past episodes. Because there's a limit on Podomatic.
So, guys, you know what that means. You need to go and start downloading those older episodes now if you want them.
Yeah, and I've actually already started deleting a few older ones that were just less popular ones or not exactly on our best of video. I used the best of extended video as a guide for what to keep, but episodes 1 through 5-ish are about to go away.
Oh, no. What are we losing here? I know, obviously, the first one, the Monty episode.
Yes, in the second episode, which was episode 0 shortened by 20 minutes. Lists of lists.
Lists of lists.
And then episode 3. Episode 3 was when Haley screwed up her name. Matt was on episode 4 where we're talking about Let's Play Live. And then episode 5... I don't remember much about episode 5. But then we had a string of guests over the next... might have been Grady.
I mean, how many episodes has it been now?
I don't know. We're at like episode 45? Wow. Yeah. That would mean we're 7 weeks off from being a year old.
I think... Didn't we take off a week, though, as well?
Anytime we took off a week, it was because there was a 2-parter.
Okay.
And then I guess, we were going to take a week off. And then I managed to cut down the 2-parter into 1-parter. So we just recorded that week. The only weeks we've taken off is when we had two-parters. And we've also
Which
recorded...
is usually with Andres.
Yes. Okay, so speaking of Andres, I'm going to bring up Andres in a minute. But first I wanted to say that very soon, iTunes is only going to be about our last 20 or so episodes. So you do want to go and download those, or else you're just going to have to go to our YouTube, because SoundCloud's only able to store the last 4 to 5 episodes. And even then, I keep my favorite episodes on there that are past, like the episode with Rick Guerrero. So you'll have to go to YouTube to get all the other episodes if you want to get the older ones.
At least now, with each episode, if you go to the Rooster Teeth group, the Player 4 podcast group on the Rooster Teeth site, you can download it from our Google account.
That is true.
So yeah, if you want a sure way of getting each episode, which you also, technically you put it also on iTunes, but we have past episodes that at some point when you take them off of iTunes, you can go back to the Rooster Teeth group and you'll still be able to get those downloads from the Google.
You can also just send us a message and we'll give you a link to the folder to which we upload.
All access.
Yeah, all you have to do is just ask nicely.
Nicely. If you do it mean, we're gonna have some problems.
And that's not fluffy.
That's not fluffy at all.
So now I'm going to bring up Andres because I've been working very slowly over the past few months on a project. I've mentioned it from time to time on Twitter.
This, I'm taking a stab at this. Is this the 'Twas the Night Before Christmas one?
No.
Okay, is this the group on Facebook?
No.
Okay, then I'm completely lost then. This is a new thing for me.
Okay, well, you brought up 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Let's just knock that one out of the park right now. So, submissions are due Friday of this week. Friday is the deadline, and nobody has sent me anything yet. So, you want to send me 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Send me a video of you reading it, even if it's just someone holding a cell phone aimed at you. If you got a webcam, then use your microphone. Use your good podcasting microphone. Record yourself reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Because I want to put that together over the next week and get that out long before Christmas so that we can have it uploaded. And I want as many people as possible. So if you're listening, you haven't done it, and you haven't missed the deadline, even if you have missed the deadline, ask me if I will still accept it, because chances are I maybe have not finished editing, so maybe you'll get lucky. But you need to get that done. Alex, are you going to do it?
I do want to do it, and I know I need to take care of it. I've just been a little busy with finals.
I understand. I was grading and administering finals last week. And then this week I've just been catching up on projects. So one of those projects is the one I was going to bring up. And that is that I took the raw video of the panel that I ran at RTX. Oh. And I am editing it to have good sound because the sound was all over the place. I was quiet because I was working on the laptop and I had to be away from the microphone. And then Roadblock was semi-loud on the microphone, meaning like he clipped a lot. And then Andres was very, very loud on the microphone and was clipping the whole time. And then Ken was the equivalent of a train siren. And so
we love all of them.
Yes, but it is what it is. I have to bring people down certain percentages. I have to bring myself up. And then I'm also putting the PowerPoint presentation in the video. And that takes some time to sync up the slides. Mm-hmm. And I want to have that done at some point in December, maybe as a Christmas present, but that depends on 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It depends on all the podcast episodes I'm doing. I just released this Monday an episode of Draw 4, and I recorded that same day another episode of Draw 4 that I want to get out by the end of the week because it's talking about something that happens this weekend. That said, I want to get this thing done soon, the panel. And I also needed to do all kinds of other things for the podcast, like the remix and the episode of episodes. So we have another thing that we're planning for this break that you and I and Tristan are going to do, possibly with some guests.
I think a little more P4 craft is going to be in the works.
Well, what? Some Minecraft?
Woo!
I have that other big project, the role-playing project, but I think it's not ready yet. I think I'm going to really plan through it. Tristan has agreed to be a fellow storyteller, so we're going to come up with some stories for it. and I really want to do this right, and I want to make sure that people are aware that it's going on, that people are a part of it, that want to be a part of it. Tune in next week because we're going to have a very, very special guest that is close to our hearts. Jenny Gacy is going to be on.
Squee!
That's right, Jenny Gacy, the art designer for Film Geek Army, their t-shirt designer, their logo designer, is going to be on because she is also our t-shirt designer. We have a t-shirt that we've talked about several times that we commissioned from her. The Drink Plus Microphone Equals Podcast t-shirt. Tristan is in the process of moving, but once he's done with that, we're going to find a website to print it off of using print on demand. And Jenny's going to be on next week. We're going to just chat with her about her artwork because she is drawing full-time and getting paid for it, and that's what you want when you're an artist.
Yes. I mean, she deserves it.
She is super amazing. Talented, and she works really hard.
So don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
You better listen to Caboose, and Caboose wants you to listen to the podcast.
That's a great plug. Thank you, Caboose. So we're also going to pre-record a Christmas episode and release it possibly Christmas Eve. So if you have an opinion on that, let us know. So now it's time to get to the community question. What is your favorite Red vs. Blue season?
Red vs. Blue season?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your answer, Alex?
My favorite season probably has to be... I think it's got to be between either season 4 or season 6. It's one of those two.
Season 6 was good. I'd have to say season 4 is definitely my favorite. It might be because it's the first one I saw in its entirety, but there was a lot about it that I liked, and it was unlike any season before or after it. They took some risks on the story. They just wanted to tell a story about a quest and a sword, and I mean, even the first episode is laugh out loud funny. LOL, Rotful Mal. Because Griff is at the top of the canyon and he's yelling and he's gonna fall. On the blue side, Church is a ghost, and then they start the Bow Chicka Bow Wow joke.
Wait.
Yeah, that's all in the same episode.
The Bow Chicka Bow had to have been earlier.
Nope, it started episode 1 of season 4.
No, there's no way.
You want to be wrong again?
It has to be earlier.
Nope. What happens with the blue part of the episode, which is the latter half of the episode, Church appears, and he's a ghost, and he says, does anybody want to ask what happened to your body, Church? And Caboose says, what's happened to somebody, Church? And then he tells them the story about how he's with Gary, the Great Destroyer has arrived, the Great Destroyer has arrived. And then the alien shows up behind him. And that's the end of season 3. So then he does the flashback talking about it. And during the flashback, Tucker shows up and he's talking about, remove the armor and everything and Bow Chicka Bow Wow. And then that's when they start Bow Chicka Bow Wow. When it goes to the credits, it has all the other things that he was going to say.
Yes, and Bow Chicka Bow Wow. Bow Chicka Chicka Bow Wow, Chicka Chicka Bow Wow, Chicka Chicka Bow Wow.
Somebody call for a really hairy plumber. I'm here to lay some pipe.
Ugh. Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Dun-dun-dun. My kids watch Reading Rainbow religiously. Okay, that's a good note to end things on. Answer the community question. Let us know about all the questions we had for you, content, and how you want us to release our Christmas episode, and whether Rick Guerrero should animate an episode about Caboose that's noir.
Yes. So, goodbye, everybody.
Until next time. See you guys later.